Let's go Broncos! The playoff race is heating up, the MVP conversation is getting stronger, and behind the scenes, a major overhaul is underway that could take the Broncos straight to the Super Bowl, or put Sean Payton in front of one of the toughest decisions of the year. Who will really lead this defense in the playoff battle? And why are some players, previously discarded, suddenly at the center of Denver's title quest? Before revealing all the details, I have a challenge for you. If you've ever yelled "Go Broncos" at your TV, thrown your hat on the ground after a controversial refereeing decision, or celebrated a game-winning touchdown like it was the Super Bowl, then you need to click the like button right now. And if you're part of that old guard of Broncos fans, those who have been with us for over 20 years, leave a comment below saying, "Go Broncos!" My heart bleeds orange and blue. It's a complete cultural shift, and it starts with a decision that could change everything. Let me explain everything to you. Now let's talk about the latest developments, and folks, it's big. The Broncos may have just caught a serious break, one of those rare instances where losing a starter doesn't feel like a death sentence to the team's momentum. Safety Brandon Jones, who has been a huge contributor to this elite secondary, went down with a pectoral injury. It's one of those injuries we've unfortunately become familiar with, and based on what we saw happen with Pat Certain, it could be anywhere from a short-term strain to a season-ending tear. According to Ian Rappaport, an MRI will determine the severity, but worst case, we may get him back for the playoffs. And if that happens, it's not just damage control, it's a blessing. Here's the twist. When Jones left the game, the defense didn't just hold up, it looked better. Enter PJ Locke. This dude is not just a fill-in. He's been one of the most underappreciated players on this roster and has a backstory that defines grit. PJ once broke a rib against the Chargers, wasn't cleared to fly the next week, so what did he do? He jumped in an RV, rode 19 hours to Detroit, and played out of his mind against the Lions. Who does that? That's the kind of warrior mentality Sean Payton builds his team around. And this season, after recovering from back surgery, Locke is back with a vengeance. Let's not forget, this isn't the first time PJ Locke stepped up. He's had clutch moments, including a game-sealing pick against Jordan Love, and bone-rattling hits that changed the momentum of games. Last year, against the Colts, he forced a fumble that secured a narrow win. You give a guy like that a chance to lead the secondary, and you're not downgrading, you're injecting fire and hunger into that defensive backfield. But PJ isn't the only name to keep your eyes on. Jalen Jade Barron is another rising name, and some analysts already pegged his ideal NFL position as safety back during draft season. Sports Illustrated and Broncos Wire were ahead of the curve on this one, pointing out how his skill set makes him a natural fit there. Now that the door's open with Jones injured, don't be surprised if Barron starts cycling into that role, adding even more depth and versatility to a unit that's already wreaking havoc on opposing offenses. And while other teams are reeling from injuries, Micah Parsons going down effectively ended Green Bay's Super Bowl hopes. The Broncos are not only surviving, they're thriving. That's the power of depth, but more importantly, it's the culture. This isn't just a team that plays hard. This is a team that defends its turf with pride. Remember what happened before kickoff? Green Bay tried to flex during warm-ups, stepping into Broncos territory with some bravado, and Dre Greenlaw stood them down. That's not just fire, that's unity. That's a locker room that's all in. Now we've got guys like Zach Allen hitting 40 QB pressures in back-to-back seasons, a stat even elite names like TJ Watt and Aaron Donald haven't managed, and barely getting any recognition for it. He's not just solid, he's historic, and yet he remains one of the most unsung heroes on this defense. That right there tells you everything about this squad. They don't need headlines. They want wins. And while the rest of the NFL starts to wake up to Bo Nix and the Broncos' real potential, we've been here the whole time. Remember when media personalities mocked Bo? One analyst from The Ringer had the nerve to say Bo was cosplaying as a quarterback. Now they're all jumping on the bandwagon after watching Bo dismantle the Packers' defense with 4 touchdowns, 0 picks, and over 300 yards. That wasn't just a good performance, it was historic. He joined an elite club of QBs, alongside Dan Marino and Patrick Mahomes, who've had 4 games with 4+ touchdowns in their first 2 seasons. The critics? Silent. The believers? Vindicated. The MVP buzz is real. Bo now holds a 29% chance to win the NFL MVP, a staggering stat when you consider the Broncos are still eating that massive Russell Wilson dead cap hit. But Bo's not the only one proving people wrong. Let's talk about R.J. Harvey. With J.K. Dobbins out, we needed a back to carry the load. And RJ has delivered, succeeding on 53% of his carries over the past few weeks. That's nearly identical to the season leader, Kyren Williams, who's at 54%. That tells you all you need to know. This backfield is in good hands, and the offense is clicking at the right time. And here's what makes this team even more dangerous. They don't care about the hype. They don't care that they've already clinched the playoffs. Sean Payton was visibly irritated when a reporter mentioned that the team accomplished its first goal. Payton snapped back, "We've accomplished nothing. The goal is the division. The goal is the AFC's #1 seed. The goal is the Super Bowl. And with games against the Jaguars and Gardner Minshew ahead, the path is clear to secure it. Or do you stay loyal to Jones and reinsert him into the lineup if he's healthy for the playoffs, even if PJ Locke is red hot? That's the kind of decision that championship caliber teams face. It's not about finding someone who can just fill in, it's about choosing between two legitimate starters. This isn't a case of survival. This is a case of surplus, and it's a massive credit to George Payton and Sean Payton for building a roster this deep. Let's be real, this Broncos defense has become a juggernaut, and it's not just the stars carrying the load. It's guys like Michael Bandy, Lil Jordan Humphrey, and Troy Franklin making game-changing plays and celebrating like they've been doing it all season long. No egos, no drama. You don't see Marvin Mims or Cortland Sutton complaining about targets. You see a team locked in on one goal, winning. That's a rare culture in today's NFL, and you better believe it's a product of the environment Sean Payton has cultivated. And Bo Nix, it's time to stop calling him a surprise. This guy is not just managing games, he's controlling them. The talk before the season was all about whether he could handle NFL speed, throw over the middle, or manage a big moment. And yet, week after week, he's checking every box. Against the top 10 Packers defense, he didn't just show up, he owned the field. That passing chart was near perfect. His decision-making was flawless. And perhaps most importantly, he continues to elevate those around him. This week, the NFL finally caught up to what Broncos country has known for months. The MVP conversation is no longer hypothetical, it's real. And Bo is in the thick of it. But it's not just him. RJ Harvey is putting together a quietly dominant stretch of games, and it's making fans forget, at least for now, how devastating the J.K. Dobbins injury felt. He's not flashy. He just runs through people, and he fits this offense like a glove. And speaking of this offense, how about that line? With Bo putting up video game numbers, a lot of credit needs to go to those guys up front. They're giving him time, and he's rewarding them with quick decisions and explosive plays. It's the most balanced this team has looked in years. And with the playoffs looming, that's a scary thought for the rest of the AFC. Now, zoom out for a second. The Broncos are 12-2. They've already clinched a playoff spot. They control their own destiny for the number 1 seed in the conference. And yet, no one in that locker room is talking about rest or relaxation. Sean Payton's message is loud and clear. We've accomplished nothing. This isn't a victory lap. It's a warpath. And maybe that's what sets this team apart from the rest. While other franchises are jockeying for wild card spots or trying to survive quarterback injuries, the Broncos are setting their sights higher. There's a belief in this team, in this locker room, and in this fan base that the Super Bowl isn't just a possibility, it's an expectation. And let's not forget what makes this story so compelling. This isn't a team full of top 10 picks or free agency splurges. This is a team built with grit, with overlooked guys, with cast-offs and comeback stories. It's a team that reflects the city it plays for, tough, resilient, and relentless. So Broncos country, here's the final thought I'll leave you with. What we're witnessing isn't just a playoff run. It's the birth of something special. The kind of team that doesn't just win games, but earns respect. A team that's deeper than any one player, that fights for every inch, and that refuses to back down no matter who lines up on the other side of the ball. And now, with the AFC in sight, and the rest of the league finally paying attention, the only question left is, can anyone stop us? Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, smash that like if you believe this is the year, and drop a comment below telling me what you think about PJ Locke, Bo Nix, and this incredible Denver Broncos team. Go Broncos! Video on screen now, you don't want to miss it.